I am about to create a very small R package, and I would like to show how to set it up. You may have your own ways, but here I'm gonna be just doing what I usually do here. So I have my Git folder in my system where I keep all my repos there, and so it is from there that it might be convenient to pop up an R session and create a repo. So I'm gonna do. You can see me using use this column to call functions, but because I have used this already in my R profile, I can show you edit R profile. You can see that I already have used this here, right, in line 3. So I don't really need to call library because it's gonna be available in every session. That's the point. So I'm gonna be using directly create package, and I'm gonna be calling it tilde polish. So now if you see we have a tilde polish folder was just created. So what do we have here? Not much, but what defines an R package, basically a description file, and then we have a couple of other things. So one thing that I like using is RStudio. RStudio is we use RStudio. We'll simply add this little .rproj file. So now I can navigate to that. So that's the way more convenient. So now people is using and loving other IDEs, but I'm gonna stick with what I use the most, and so we were looking for tilde polish. Where are you? Here. So now with this little button we go there. So I'm gonna be adding the very minimum infrastructure, but yet I wanna kind of start on the right footing here. So if I start running rcmd check, we can check it from here or many other ways. We'll see that what we're missing to begin with is a license. So I'm gonna usually use the MIT, but in this family of repos of packages, we are using a GPL3 license. This one, GPL3, yes, that's right. And so now if I rerun rcmd check, that warning should go away. I think with this, this is not a repo. Okay, good. So we need to do a git init, or we could use this also. It has a function called use git. So as you can see now, my rcmd check is clean. So I'm kind of ready to add everything to my staging area and create a commit, something like initialize empty package. And if you're using fledge, which I love a lot, so you can do a little asterisk or a little minus here to indicate that you want to add this commit message to the changelog. So we're gonna be exploring that in a minute. So I did one meaningful change. So let's do a fledge bump version. Let's see if I think probably we need to add a little bit more infrastructure here. So let's start with setting up the repo on GitHub. So again, you may have your own ways, but I really like the GH CLI. So actually, let me show this a little bigger. So GH repo create. Let's do the source that we have here, and let's push this on a public repo. And what I did forget here, though, I'm going to cancel that, is to indicate that the repo that we want to create is not in my user account, which could be the default. Is in my work account. So it's going to be polish. So we need to specify. In that case, I want to specify the repository because I want to push it to my organization's to my work organization. So if I do a gh browse here, it's going to be very boring because it doesn't have a README file. So the very thing I would like to love is to add such a README file. So let's do a README RMD, and that should pop up that README file here. Now it's a bit too big for you. So basically, I'd like to say, what's the goal of the Pasha is to polish tilde data. The installation is going to come as already pre-populated because usethis is super smart to do that. I don't typically use that kind of introduction to the section example, and here we need to add something later, but we still don't have any function. So the rest is something just here for an example. We're going to render this. It's telling us that there is a problem here, and that's because the package itself is not installed and README needs it. So what we need to do then is to basically install the package. We can do it from here or in other ways, maybe with pack, which I love. So with pack, you would do local install to install that package, and if it has any dependencies, you will also try to install the dependencies as well. So okay, yeah, we can say here, yeah, we can say yes, and now we're ready to render this README file. This should pass. It can show you that the README has been rendered, and now I think we are ready to. Let's see, we have all the infrastructure there. Add README. So by the way, I'm using, actually I made a mistake there. Let's amend this. So add README. Yeah, there we go. I'm using lots of little aliases, which I think speed up the workflow a lot. It's a lot less typing, a lot more work done for how tired my fingers get. So I think it's worth investing in learning and using some of them, at least the most common aliases out there. So I think we're ready to push. So this generally is a bad idea to push to main, but because we have no feature here, I'm also not dogmatic at all. For more than I do create tiny little CD pull requests for myself, I still, I don't think that I could need a whole cycle of pull requests for just to push a README file to an empty repo. So okay, we have the repo there. We have a little README file. So what else, could we do to set up, this package for success? One good help comes from use upkeep issue. So just that, will give us a little bit of a roadmap to know what we could do to kind of set this repo for success. So there is a bunch of things. So one thing we could do is to add the GitHub links. So we're gonna be simply copying and pasting that into our console. To everything, I'm gonna say yes. I trust this package. So use GH links. So here the branch is ahead. Let's see. Okay, I need to probably push something here, pull something here. That's weird. No, I don't have anything on GitHub. So let's see how we are here. Git push. Oh, okay, because the commit was already created, I think. Second thing we can do, so I'm gonna check that box, is to use package down. Of course, the website is super useful. Actually, I do expect a website every time I go to a package, and when I don't see it, I get frustrated. So I'm gonna do that favor for myself. And so you see that all the infrastructure has been added there. We don't need to change anything really. Website, the defaults are a very good start. So we're gonna push that to GitHub, and in a moment we should see here somewhere a URL, when the website kind of builds. We want to probably tidy the description. It's funny that it's not tidy if the repo just started. So I wonder what changes that will introduce, if any. It did change something. So it looks like those URLs. It's funny that they're added by default in a not tidy way. But anyway, so we tidy description. Let's push that. Let's push that to So we're gonna be, I'm gonna be more diligent with my pull request once I actually do have the right infrastructure. But for now, I'm just pushing to make. Actually, it's a good idea to block pushes to main. So you can do that on the settings on GitHub, but I'm not gonna do it for now because I want to gain that speed. So what am I doing here? I'm adding this kind of package level piece of documentation where you can say something about the package, but you don't have to. It's a good place to add what kinds of functions you're gonna be importing from different packages. So now we have nothing. So add package level doc. And we can check that box too. Then, well, we're gonna be testing our package, of course, so we need to use testthat for that. Let's add that infrastructure here. You see that, if I add that, you see that there is a description file was modified and the setup doc file in the tests directory. So in the description file, we are suggesting testthat and using testthat edition 3. So that's what has been added automatically for us. So use testthat. Okay. So let's push that. And now align the names. Okay, so this is a recommendation, right? We don't have yet any function. Actually, I do have one that I want to add, so kind of to demonstrate how that works. So basically, whenever you want to create a new function, this one is going to be called summarize range. We can rename this later. Summarize range, summarize tilt range for now. So you can see that it created this R file, which lives in my R directory. If I hover over this, you can see where it's living. But then also when I do use test, which is probably the first file I'm going to be working on, when I kind of design the first test works, the first test for my function. Here I'm going to say, for now I'm going to do a skip with to do. So that should remind me, or actually stop. I think that's a nice thing to do, because if I say, well, actually skip, it's going to show you what it looks like. So if I now run my tests for this package, then the test will pass because there is nothing there, but also you will see this to do, right? So I think it's a good way to remind myself that I need to do something there. So infrastructure for new. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna do, we're also pretty close to the end, which is pretty amazing how quickly these days one can do a package that is already in pretty good shape, really better than most packages out there. So code of conduct requires the details in the first argument. So here we can say @gmail.com. Let's see if that works. It looks like it did. So that's the code of conduct. Code of conduct. I'm missing a D there. And what else? We're almost there. If we have pictures, we need to remember to probably add an alternative text so that people with can read those with screen readers. That's awesome. Set GitHub Actions with this workflow. I think that's the last thing we're gonna be doing. Okay, so that means that now our package is gonna be checked. So actually for this, kind of to show how that works, maybe I'm gonna create a branch add CI. So here rcmd check on GH actions. So now README apparently is out of date, so let's go to README and rerun it, re-render it. I mean, it's kind of funny that I don't want to add readme in the same commit, right? So we're gonna do commit for readme, add update readme. And why was it changed? Because everything in readme. So because you know, when you are the workflow, you know, a new label is added to the readme file, so you can see what's the status of rcmd check on GitHub Actions. But yeah, like the focus of this pull request though is the the workflow itself. So we're gonna put it in a different commit, and what we say is add check standard YAML, which, you know, I know that means adding this workflow. So I think we are now ready for the to create a PR. So this actually happily will close this issue, which is the number 1. So because it's the last thingy that we need there. So we can say that we can say if we add this pound, then the issue is going to be expanded. So I'm going to show you that like the title of the issue is going to be expanded. So I'm going to say close number 1. So on GitHub, when we submit this, let's see GHPR view on GitHub on the website. We see where it says close, because I did add that asterisk there. Instead of seeing number 1 here, we see the entire link to the issue, which is really nice. And now, because the let's see, so here did we actually do that specifically? Yes, we did that. So I think it's accurate to leave those bullets in here too. And now, just because I'm a little picky, I want to make a proper title here, because that's going to become my commit message. So I want to again start with in the right footing, so we can see what the checks are looking. The GHPR checks, to see what the checks are looking like. Of course, they are now in progress. But I'm going to pause the video and come back in a moment to show you that when that's all green, and then merge the pull request, and I think I'm gonna be done for now. I'm back here, but probably the checks didn't complete. But in the meantime, let's see. Oh, almost there. Well, they did complete. So let's. What I wanted to show you is this. So by the way, I'm using RStudio on inside a Docker container, and that's running locally on my system. Why would you do that? I mean, typically, you do that maybe because you're using RStudio from a remote server, maybe somewhere where other colleagues have access to, and so you can collaborate more or less on the same things, having access to some files or data. But the reason I'm doing this is because I like to keep my own local system as kind of unpolluted as possible, and all my software to be as lightweight and replaceable as possible. So so here, what do we have here? Let's pop up the terminal. I'm gonna need if I do docker ps, and if I show you my running containers, you can see that there is this container called r 4.4.0, which actually is a little behind, because now we are on R441. So that is what's running actually my the engine of my RStudio here. And the fact that I'm a little behind doesn't really bother me much, because now we have rig, and rig is an amazing package in the r-lib ecosystem. Let's do a little new terminal here. So rig available. So I recommend you look at it. Maybe I'm gonna do r-lib rig to see where that takes me. Yeah, the installation manager. So I recommend you have a quick look at this. It's super amazing. You can very quickly switch between different versions of R. So now, I could try a devel with, would be R 4.5, the one that is going to come whenever it comes, or 4.4.1, which is the current one. So, for example, that would be rig run r next, I think, and there you go. So this could be version 4.4.1, right? Whereas on my normal R session, I think I was using 4.4.4.0, but although I see that there is a 1 here, so let's see. I don't want to cheat. Let's see if I can do, if I can switch to a different version. So which versions did we say we have available? The 4. Maybe the vel. I'm gonna show you if I can reach the vel. So run. I mean, the fact that they are available doesn't mean that I have them in my system. You have to add them to have them in your system. But let's see. Run the vel. Yeah, there you go. So this is our. It says unstable, so that's what's gonna be coming for our 4.5, right? So pretty amazing, isn't it? That you can very quickly switch between versions. So where were we? So let's check GHPR checks. What was the status of things? Okay, all checks passed, so we can do a GHPR merge. So I like to squash my PRs and also delete the branch on GitHub, so everything kind of stays clean. And now I would like to see what's happening with, what happened with my fledge. So you can see how, my branch changed automatically to main because I asked the GH to close the branch that was holding the PR. So now if I do fledge bump version, let's see what happens. Oh, now works. I know exactly what happened before. So by the way, this is by Jintra. They have amazing packages. One other package that I like a lot is DM, but there's a ton that you can get from there. So now basically the whole thing here is to initialize the package, right? I think that would do it. Let's leave this clean, and now we're ready to call. So with Fledge, that's how it works. So first you call bump version, you get all the infrastructure for that you need, like a news file if you don't have one, pre-populated some of the messages that you can type. You have this beautiful description of the version that you are now standing on and the date where you added the changes. And then you get also pre-populated on the console the next command that you need to run, which is Fledge finalized version. So if you do push through, which is the what comes with that pre-populated command, that's going to be gone to GitHub. So that's amazing. Nothing else that you need to do. So by now it's possible that our little website is already up and running. So let's see. Let's go to my polish here. Yeah, I have that URL there. So if I click there, you can see that my website is there. There is a reference, and the changelog will appear here once the last commit that I pushed to GitHub actually deploys the website. So it's here, it's working. That Fledge created that bump version commit, but it's still working on it. So this is the workflow that is going to be responsible for creating that website, which is still not there. So that's the only reason why you still don't see the changelog, but you will see it. All right, I hope you enjoy this super quick demo of what it means to create a quick package today.